Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. I hope you are ready for a little pivot, a little change. I may have mentioned something about the sixes, and we'll probably talk about the weather because hell, everybody's talking about the weather. But we're going to switch it up. We're going to talk about the 113. We have been chatting a little bit before the show, and of course, we get deep in the weeds over here when we talk about the V-Steg and the Z-Steg, and we've got a couple great messages for you. We will talk about the 22, of course, because we always talk about the 22. So we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, Ben. Good to have you after a long Happy New Year.
Yeah. I think, really? Was our last show?
I think we've missed
before our last show was before the playoffs began, because I was telling everybody, remember I had made my bold, like, uneducated prediction because I hadn't looked into too many
because
of the
we were
teams.
talking about one of my friends. She was like, "Oh my gosh, the Bills! You guys called it." And I was like, "Huh? I don't know anything. I don't."
Well, I had said that they were going to make it to the Super Bowl with the themes that were going on with Silver and the Emerald City and Oz, and I actually, had I looked into it a little bit more like I usually do when I was doing my presentations, perhaps you can show everybody in the audience my Rumble page if they want to go to find these presentations, by the way, because Buffalo factors heavily into the themes of when I was doing some of these last wrap-ups I did. The last time I was heavily involved in doing these presentations was when we were decoding the lead up to the election in the summer of 24, when Trump was coming into his own with, you know, all of the real crazy kayfabe that was that election cycle. And it began with the Super Bowl, where Taylor Swift being with Travis Kelce, you see it right there next to the next to the Road to Ruta one I did with Josh, which was the last one I did otherwise. And it tied a lot of themes in, where if you watch that episode forward, you'll find a lot of weird stuff, again, with Buffalo, McKinley, the assassination behind that, the silver rig ritual that has to do with Buffalo somehow. Well, remember, President McKinley was the one who instituted the Silver Sherman Act and the Gold Standard Act when the money trusts were still in place. So there's a lot going on for the impetus of his assassination, the banking interests, Samuel Untermeyer, and the rest of this Jewish cabal at the time that had impetus to kill McKinley. And there's a whole host of Oz layered bullshit on top of it, where thematically we're living through a lot of that stuff in the news now. Lisa mentioned in the intro the weather. I coined a term in this period of time in these videos that I was doing called the Frozen Empire. There were themes coming up in the Steganography forecasting some sort of, engineered frozen empire. And so anytime, I can't help but going back to those times when those things come up, like we're about to experience now on the 22nd of January, the V day of every month, the 22nd, because V is the 22nd letter of the English alphabet, as all of you know. But what we want to do here is get into why I was missing the point with Buffalo making it all the way to the Super Bowl. They were a huge component, as we're going to find out today, the silver buffalo that Lisa's pointing at right here. We have more to decode as it relates to Buffalo. They really are a huge component of the ritual that is part and parcel to the silver rig ritual unplugging now. The Road to Ruta forecasts all coming to fruition that Bix has been so sage at putting out there for a long time. And going, and starting the theme off before we get to Buffalo, and kind of readjusting our view on the NFL playoffs and the ritual that it is and the scripted scenario that it is. We want to shift our focus to another scripted scenario that seemed to unfold on the 13th, in between when you and I spoke last. Like Lisa just said, we're going to look into the 113. So we've talked about there, people like to ascribe like all of this shit to gematria. Well, why is this number matter or this one matters? And there are some key ones like that are popularized out there, like 47. 47 is a popular one because 47 degrees in the Freemason compass. So when you see that, it's kind of a Freemasonic sigil, or could be. 88, like we've talked about, signifies time because it's literally the analemma cycle of the moon and the sun represented as eights. We just got done talking about 22. Why does 22 represent V? Because it's the 22nd placement in the alphabet. There are all sorts of different ways of why you can ascribe meaning to the gematria values. But 113 specifically, I'm going to recite a passage from this book, Letters and Numbers. There's a guy on the internet whose name is Zachary Hubbard, and he runs a site still to this day that gambles on sports. And the people that follow him, they follow the codes of gematria to beat Vegas. His audience does pretty well. But there's a passage in this book that he wrote. Right here, you see.
Hold on, let me make you a little bigger so everybody can see a little bit better.
Oh, all right.
Wait a minute. Swap it. There we go.
All right. So right up here it says, do you see Baba, 113? Do you see that title up here?
Yes.
You see in this line, Baba, 113. And then all these values underneath it. I just want to show everybody that that's where I'm getting this from. I'm just going to read.
Okay, what's the name of that book again?
This is called Letters and Numbers.
Letters and Numbers. Okay.
It's a book about gematria.
Okay.
So the reason why 113 is encoded the way it is because Jewish sorcery, right? Like, Jews control sports and all this shit. And in Baba Kama is a chapter in the Talmud. 113, Baba Kama 113a. So this passage in the Talmud, Baba Kama 113, allows Jews to circumvent the Gentile, the normie, by lying to them. It gives them agency to lie. So it's this whole passage that, instills in the right, like, you need to lie to the Gentiles. They're dirty creatures. They deserve to be lied to. It's like that kind of a thing.
But is this the karmic thing where they have to tell you, they have to do it in your face, like the chicken?
Yeah,
thing?
it's part of that. Yeah, that's why they go to the trouble to encode it. So if you're stupid enough to buy into it, then you deserve to have a spell cast on you, right? But I'm trying to establish there's meaning in 113 specifically. And it's this passage in the Talmud that gives it its connotation, where the Jewish sorcerer or the Jewish priest or the rabbi or whoever the fuck wants to get one over on the Gentile, he has every right and privilege to because of Baba Kama 113. Well, the way things work in gematria is you encode that 113 meaning in the back end of common language that all matters to that subtext. So what you have, terms that equal 113, and you will either one of the main four ciphers, English ordinal, English reduction, and reverse ordinal. Those are the four major gematria ciphers. So here's some words, unsurprisingly perhaps, that equal 113 in gematria. Mainstream, dishonest, not true, not factual, disinfo, perjury, fiction, green screen, bullshit, infidelity, perverted, divorce, politics, fake reality, dream world, illusions, Titanic, iceberg. The list goes on and on and on. So you see how very purposefully engineered these numeric values are when inserted in this way. And this has kind of been the goal of it all along. Well, on 113 this month, we had silver break $88. Very significant to those that are letting silver run right now. I think is very indicative of them messaging to us that, well, we purposefully chose 88 as the number for it to break. People like us, they're looking at the time rituals to replace the stolen time.
And that's a Back to the Future nod.
Yeah.
So it's breaking the curse. That's
well,
part
Back to the
of
Future
law.
uses 88 because of this established meaning that we're talking about.
Right.
It's the ancient spellcasting meaning of 88 and the
Of
time,
infinity and
the
using
time warp
okay.
that, you know, that a sorcerer can do with the perceptive qualities of hypnosis in order to alter that perception of time, right? Or to just straight steal it in general, to prolong events that shouldn't be prolonged, like rigging a financial market with derivatives. You're stealing time is what you're doing because you're not letting free markets develop, which they only
and that's what even Scott Bessent called out the Fed, was it today or yesterday in Davos, and said, you know, just because you are independent does not mean you shouldn't be held accountable for making bad choices in the market and causing inflation with your choices in the market, and, you know, bad timing of purchasing or repurchasing bonds and these things. And so that's kind of all in that, with time and choices with time and all that.
Yeah. Our relationship with time is even going to change because everything is eternal, right? And the trick that time is this thing that we have to place valuations on. The savings mechanism in and of itself, like, you know, these things like time value of money, or you know, we have a different relationship with this now with blockchain and parsing value without arbitrage. Time becomes less significant in a lot of this too, but we'll see how, because Veritasium is going to come.
That's exactly where I was going. And we didn't talk about this before we got started.
No, we didn't.
Probably should have, but Reggie has been posting about, you know, Trump is getting ready to sign the Clarity Act. So it went through House and Senate, whatever. And Reggie's talking about the stable coins and why the banks don't want you to be able to use the stable coins. I think I'm saying that right. Now I need to go back and read his, I probably should pull up his Twitter and read his Twitter exactly. But basically, like, what I was reading, what I was understanding, because I don't want to misquote what he was saying, is that the banks are set apart because they do fractional reserve lending. And that's how that's different. And Reggie sees us, and once again, I don't want to misquote. But what Reggie was talking about is seeing tokenized assets. And someone just, including Virtu Financial, everybody knows Vidi Viola from Virtu Financial.
VVV5.
Who says that all the time? Yeah, VVV. But our buddy Big Sweet were talking about Vidi Viola from Virtu Financial. Yeah. They were part of, on the 16th, doing some it's open source. Reggie was talking about it, but it's on chain tokenized assets swapping, and that's where there won't be
live cross-border intraday repo flows.
Yes, live
using. I just pulled up the post. Using tokenized deposit.
Yes, that.
So Canton. On January 15th, you almost had it.
Oh, I thought it was the 16th.
Oh, no, excuse me. 16th is still in here. That was the release of the synchronization tools. Right. But the 15th was the press release date where they announced the Canton Networking Industry Group. They announced that they would be doing multi-asset, multi-currency intraday repurchase transactions settled on chain, explicitly leveraging tokens from commercial bank deposits. They're using some sort of collateral as cash. It looks like, I don't know what
it doesn't say.
They're denoting it with some label that I'm not really sure what it is.
Tokenized,
but they're using some sort of tokenization as the collateral for the cash,
and I can't remember what they call it,
as USDC, which is, you know, this is just what the Viadir does.
Yes, it sounds like the Vader.
With a rent schedule. That's all the Viadir adds to it, so you can, you know.
That's what I thought too. I was like, this sounds like the Vader.
So that's probably why he tweeted this, and What does that mean for the Veritasium holders? I do not know.
I don't know.
But perhaps everyone, it's wise to consider going to Quantum Metals and buying a Veritasium patented token where you actually, if I'm understanding, every single one of those that you have, right, Lisa, you own a piece of the patent, correct?
That is not my understanding.
No?
No. Because the
or
patent,
not a piece of the patent itself, but a piece of like the benefit that could be
the patent
gained
is Reggie and Veritasium Inc.
Or what I'm trying to think of is like a share. It's a share of something, like a future value. Like you buy the smart metal.
My understanding that when you buy the smart metal, and I've not been looking at it in a long time, but that you get like, it allows you, it's like a Microsoft license. Like you get an AI agent, and it allows you to use the permission to use the software, is my understanding. Okay.
It's like, okay, so the difference between maybe what I'm hearing from you is that perhaps it sounds like the difference between a very smart token on a physical silver round, the commemorative, not even commemorative, but they're functional fundraising units is what they are. Those ones carry with it almost like a Amex Black Card customer service.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Whereas if you just had a digital Veri token, it would be the same, but you wouldn't have the.
I don't know. None of this is any kind of financial advice, and I don't really remember.
No, it is financial advice. We're trying to figure out what the features of Reggie's product are through Quantum Metals. It's a cool thing to do, even just to support him. If you want to go buy fucking silver for
go buy some silver from Quantum Metals at my friend.
I think they're $337 now. So there's a little bit of a premium, but silver is going to hit $400 before this time next month. So what are you so scared of, everyone? You got
96
silver however you
earlier, today or something. And I don't know what they are right now at Quantum Metals. I would think they would have gone up. Because I mean, they were
337. Yeah, here they are. Aha, here they go.
Found them.
Here's the link.
Thank you. And I wasn't planning on talking about this either, but
no, but it's a good idea to bring it up every once in a while. Throw a Reggie that. I mean, we should really find like what else is special about, because I know that there's when you peel off the code on the back.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been, looking at them or whatever. So I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not prepared to talk about them, but it says it's limited. Let's see, making it a rare and valuable addition to any collection. It's a round. They're not coins, so it's to pay homage to the world of cryptocurrency. It's a collectible round. And limited availability, pre-sale, item delivery times not. Okay, show the world well, here's where to show the world the Veritasium patents in real world use. Okay, very smart.
There it is. It's an NFT. That's what it is.
Okay, yes, and it does have a round is linked to the blockchain, and it will unlock for the owner an NFT. Yes. So it does have the NFT on it. I remembered the NFT, but I also remember him talking about having like an AI agent.
To be continued then. I mean, so, yeah, I remembered something like that too. And it was so long ago that it's probably stupid that I can't remember, but I can't really speak to it either. So
wow,
it's a good way to buy silver though, because they're available.
Yeah, because I think when they were first out, they were like 150, so they've a little more than doubled already, which silver's way more than doubled, so they've kept the price really reasonable on these, considering how much silver has gone up.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're still a bargain, because it's gonna be no time flat before they have to reprice these again.
Yeah. So. And I think these were going towards it was a fundraiser, I think, at one point to help with some legal fees and stuff. So
for Reggie.
Yeah, that was my understanding. So
Well, anyway, it was just I was trying to be helpful with a plug for donating to Reggie's cause while also getting kind of a bitchin' cool thing at the same time.
Well, it's part of history for sure. I mean, hopefully he'll be vindicated. I mean, so many projects have gotten to see their day in court and been vindicated from the evil SEC, and it seems like he just has been left out there, hung out there to dry, and not seen justice. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Even though, Coinbase went after him, tried that inter partes review at the patent office. The patent office denied their claim and struck them down and said, no, he had, significant art, whatever. And so he's won hand over fist time and time again. But he still is not made whole, and so I don't.
He's gonna be. We're gonna champion the cause of
for sure
the Veadir once more.
That's right. One day, hopefully, justice will come for all of us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So anyway, Reggie's side tangent. Reggie's cross-border tokenization patent. Well, and so many functions therein also, like not even just relating to the cross-border transactional qualities of the purposed vehicles that can run on chains like this. Reggie owns the full gamut patent for all that. So, what we were talking about as it relates to the cross-border.
Yeah, we got
things is what we were. Yeah. So anyway, we have a couple of things to go over ritualistically that happened by way of the Super Bowl lead up here, the NFL. Started the show off talking about, again, the Bills. Perhaps you can go back to my Rumble channel really quick again, and I can show people yet again. Wanted to talk briefly on what they can anticipate if they watch those videos moving forward.
Oh, is it not sharing? Sorry, I'm on the other page.
Nope.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so the one right there where it has a big V over the top of a picture of Taylor Swift. It says Taylor Swift capture of Super Bowl 58. This is 2 years ago, guys. I was just not in the game last year to cover the V-Steg relating to what was in the news with too much going on in my life. In fact, I haven't really been able to get back to these 3-hour formatted style of videos either. But what you can expect in these videos is for me to tie in all these concepts of what is happening on a grander scale of mind control and the templated minds of the masses and the rituals that are taking part center stage in the pop culture, the biggest event of the year, the Super Bowl. These things matter, just like the gematria matters. They carry meaning, and whatever level of power the impression has on your brain, it's like there is this argued kind of hypnosis that those symbols can put people into. I mean, look no further than your buddy next to you betting on sports in his app. His mind is captured, like yours is too. If you're betting on sports in an app, it's what you'll find here is there's an argument, especially in hindsight. I'm really good at picking up the beats of what has happened to decode it. Sometimes I'm a little bit less accurate if I don't have the time to really investigate ahead of time to forecast events. But I did actually accurately forecast events this summer with, like a lot of people were. The astrologers were right on point too, with pointing at the date of the Trump assassination. And I was right on point with it also, with some Batman steganography that it lined up with the fucking astrology points. The demon star, Al Ghul, the beheading star. And Batman has this enemy, Ra's al Ghul, where we needn't get into how it connected, but all the Batman stuff somehow from the comics side comes in and connects all these dots with what's happening from the mind control perspective to keep your mind so dumb that you don't look in this corner where the money doesn't make sense. You don't look in this corner where the history doesn't make sense. You don't look in this corner where the religion doesn't make sense, right? This is the V inclusion on these themes. Again, to reiterate for those that don't know why this matters, that is why it's there. It's to impress upon the public, it seems, that these themes are keeping you in this kind of pop culture soup. The themes of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they included Buffalo heavily. Buffalo was beaten by the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And famously, everybody was now comparing the Buffalo runs in the early 90s, where they went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row, and they lost all 4 of those. And perhaps the most devastating one was in 1992, where their kicker missed wide right. It was this famous moment. And that same thing played out in Ace Ventura in the movies a couple of years later after that, where they did this whole replay of the event with the dolphins. And these themes you'll see to connect in movies, into sports, into the main stage of the presidency, where I was even connecting Jim Carrey as the likeliest candidate to be acting as Joe Biden in a mask during that period of time, which you'll see right there. There's Joe Biden and the mask, Jim Carrey in both these roles. I was connecting all of these themes even up with another thread I called the Frozen Empire, which, what are we saying today on the 22nd of January, is this frozen empire across the landscape. Mm-hmm. And this other concept of stolen time, and Oz is all throughout, but you'll see the very last video, the stolen time. That was the last video I did with the Trump assassination, where I said something was going to happen this day, and the assassin, the would-be assassin from Buffalo that died in the stands, this firefighter, they said, that actually died from an errant bullet, who I think was the actual assassin, not some kid on a roof that would have never been able to make the shot. It's this whole play, guys, this whole thing with Buffalo at the heart of it, the silver rig. Lisa's going to pull up a video that we're going to watch here in a second that puts the road to Ruta again right at the heart of it too, because it's part of this whole silver rig ritual. But it matters. This is a long con that's been going on, and things like the NFL, things like movies, I think people in this community get, they're just tools to soften up the direction that the minds of the masses need to be pushed in, right?
Well, and they need the loosh from we the people, because we are all electric. We're all crystalline, electric, and we are the power that they need. So they need to have the mind control, to have the loosh, the electricity, to make all this work. Yes. So that's why they invest in all that.
Well, and they can harvest it in these stadiums. You know, all the focus goes toward this ritual that's happening with numbers, with names, with symbols, with actions. And think about even what Cliff has been saying lately, guys. This is really the punchline for why I think the steganography matters the most, is because it templates those that are unwitting to it into a channel, into a groove, into a thought pattern that they've designed for you. Mm-hmm. And so it's their manifestation that you're now bringing about unwittingly, because you're participating at a mind-numbing level with the V-steganography. It's piercing right through your filters if you're participating with it in that way. So again, I always harp on why this matters, because beneath it, people when they look at decoding stuff in the occult, they don't really have a tendency to do anything other than like, look, I matched it up. And that's the point? No, that's not the point. It goes much more beyond just finding patterns for the sake of finding patterns. The patterns are there for a reason. And it seems this is the case. This mind control component matters. To know about it is to break the spell entirely if you can remain consistent with it. But anyway, the Bills, we called that they might go to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. I hedged the bet when I said I don't know if it's true that they're going to be the case in our last show. That's the way it'll go. But I brought up some evidence that was showing, with the rivalry jerseys, the silver that was on them, how they matched up, it seemed, in the storyline with the number 17 and the number 14 for the Wizard going to the Super Bowl. There's some things that happened in the Jaguars game that I thought were really funny. That made it very ritual inducing at the end of the game. A lot of people missed this aspect of it. I didn't, because I'm looking for 14 and 41 all the time because of Oz. Oz is 14 and 41 in gematria, like we talked about last time. But Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Bills, they won the game against the Jaguars by the tush push, is what they were calling it in the media, where his offensive lineman came up and carried him into the end zone like 10 yards. Like it was ridiculous. It looked ridiculous. And on either side of him, parading him into the end zone, on his left was number 14, and on his right was number 41, parading him right into the end zone. So it was very clear signaling, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, we're going along with this Oz ritual. There was a lot of things that happened on the play or in the drive too, like, oh, there were 22 seconds left when he began to make his final push toward winning the game, and all this kind of stuff. But then the next week they faced the Broncos. And what you'd find if you also look in that Taylor Swift video I mentioned in those old videos is a strong connection to the O.J. Simpson tie with the 49ers, at least then. But we were talking about his connection to Buffalo because we were starting to paint that picture because of the wide right that we were seeing with the Ace Ventura connections. And you're just going to have to go watch that video, guys, to understand why Ace Ventura is connected with it and how Jim Carrey gets plopped into it in the first place. It's not just some random occurrence, right? Like none of this is just placed there without meaning. So at the end of it here, we have Buffalo, which matters a lot to electricity, to money, to the McKinley ritual of the World's Fair. Like
also deals with our Native American people, which brings in Greenland.
Yep. Greenland is right in the news today on the 22nd too.
Right.
So guys, Buffalo was always supposed to be part of this big ritual. It wasn't actually until I started looking into it in the last week that I found some more stuff, and it made a lot of sense. You know, Buffalo lost to the Broncos, and it's funny because OJ. I was texting with Lisa. I was like, "Look, the last time the Bills and the Broncos had a meaningful encounter, this happened, and it's OJ Simpson, Buffalo Bills running back, driving a white Bronco away from the police." And but this is part of it, guys. The OJ Simpson part of the tapestry is part of the ritual. You got to get that part of it too, and you'll see the starting component of it in that Taylor Swift video if you just go watch the 3-hour presentation. So you have all of the makings of why they're at the heart of it. Seattle's still in it, of course. The Emerald City of Oz, number 14, the Wizard, who won the game with a torn oblique muscle somehow, and his team scored 41 points. So number 14 won with 41 points. So the Seahawks obviously were all jacked into the Oz ritual last week too. But here's what I found. I gave a video to Lisa that we've both analyzed where the Bills are at the heart of it. This is on Peyton Manning's YouTube channel. Peyton Manning has a YouTube channel called Omaha Productions. And 2 months ago, he featured this video, which we're going to watch because there's steganography all throughout it, including allusions to the Road to Ruta, of course, at the end. But you'll see how this all ties in ritualistically to the curse of the Buffalo Bills, just like the Cubs had a curse at some point in baseball. They mention the wide right situation in the 92 season, where that's part of the lore. But anyway, just play this, Lisa, and I'll have you pause it so we can analyze it at like 3 or 4 of the different points. But yeah,
here we are.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
It's this one.
So Peyton Manning arrived in Buffalo.
When they were digging the stadium, there was a Native American burial ground there.
We'll go to the beginning, though.
Others
go to the beginning because he didn't mention the X-Files part.
Why is Buffalo cursed? Some think the Bills' home is haunted. Which NFL stadium has a cemetery? It's this one. It's still fenced off and it's kept. When they were digging the stadium, there was a Native American burial ground there as well.
Others blame a shadowy cabal.
Could even be a government thing.
Right? The government conspiracy. I mean, according to the X-Files,
The cigarette guy.
this guy reaches to the top.
That TV show.
According to the X-Files, this conspiracy reaches to the top. It's significant that the guy that asked the questions is wearing number 91 because there's an X-Files episode that they're talking about that's from 1991 where the smoking man, who's the government, he's like the front man for the government conspiracy. He's like the grand conspirator for Fox and Scully, Mulder and Scully. Fox Mulder. Remember I was telling you about the Fox faction. Anyway, that's the story for a different day. But Mulder and Scully, the FBI agents played by David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson in X-Files, this smoking man is kind of like the main shadowy protagonist that represents the government faction that's controlling everything. And in an episode that year that was just titled "The Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man," he gave a throwaway line, it seems, that in the dialogue where he was talking about rigging the Super Bowls against the Buffalo Bills. Not only did that give you a clue like, oh, there's a grand conspiracy in rigging professional sports that the government knows about, but specifically that the Bills were mentioned, saying like they'll never win as long as I'm here in this seat or something like that is what he said. And we're talking about rigging the Olympics in that same conversation. So there's an X-Files tie in there. They built the Steganography brilliantly with his number 91 jersey, but that's for the uninitiated. That's what that is that they're mentioning there, the curse of the X-Files. Anyway,
Okay.
continue.
Government thing.
Right? The government conspiracy. I mean, according to the X-Files,
The cigarette guy.
this kind of reaches to the top.
That TV show was awesome up until the point where they told us we're never going to win it.
You look like him kind of right now.
We're definitely cursed.
Okay, so when did all this start again?
1901.
1901.
1901.
That's when it hit me like
91.
Bruce Smith. This whole curse may have been triggered by something that happened in Buffalo back in 1901.
Pause.
But I was going to need.
It's not just incidental that the 250th anniversary of America this year is 125 years since then. It's the exact halfway point between the founding of the United States and now. The halfway point, 125, also factorializes into 5 times 5 times 5, 5, 5, 5. The Washington Monument's 555 feet above ground, 666 feet below ground. These are Masonic figures and also megalithic figures. But the 5s with the V-steg is important. Anyway, continue. That's all I'm saying is 125 years is significant to people because it's exactly the halfway point. It doesn't seem like it's that long ago, right?
Yeah.
1901, but that's halfway between the founding of the country and now.
We are young.
And the halfway point of the founding of the country. Yes. Anyway, continue.
All right.
Need some help to get to the bottom of it.
Hey,
Josh Allen.
you know what I miss most about
That's Tom Brady.
Pizza.
Yeah. We
I
can
hope
skip
he's
it.
not a bad guy.
Tom Brady.
On time.
How you doing?
Good to see you, pal. What's up?
Good to see you.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How you
Good.
doing?
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's great.
Can't complain.
Yeah. Why are we meeting in the middle of the street?
Well, I hear you're kind of into hocus pocus, and I was hoping we could work a little magic here.
Oh, well, it depends. What time is it?
That was it. It's
That's right. Magic time.
wow.
So
And there-
when we saw that earlier time watch, we were thinking back to the Intrepid,
Yes.
JFK Junior's watch, all that stuff.
Stolen time. If you guys
Stolen
remember,
time,
if you go to my Rumble page, I tagged this little moniker "Stolen Time" as part of the ritual.
Oh, and that reminded me that when Elon was at Davos just the last few days,
Yeah.
he was being interviewed, and he said, a lot of people ask me if I'm an alien, and the interviewer says, no, you're a time traveler or something like that. And he said, and I am. And So it's really interesting. I
He's
shared
an
that
alien. He's an Elohim.
if you want to jump in it's in the link.
Elon's an Elohim. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it happens. Or an Elohim hybrid.
He
or
says
something.
there are no aliens because he would have bumped into one because of all his satellites. He said if anyone would, but he also said if anyone, how did he say it? If anyone would know if there were aliens, it would be me. If there were aliens, if anyone knew what there were aliens, it would be me. Because he said there's so many satellites. He said my satellites would have bumped into something.
Well, I mean, we don't even know how to substantiate that because they probably are bumping into stuff. You know,
Yeah, I don't know.
How are we supposed to know that they are? It's just so silly that.
I think he's
anyway.
gone, but.
So stolen time. Josh Allen stole the watch with magic. Stole the time with magic.
That's right.
He stole it right off of Peyton's wrist.
It's definitely a misdemeanor. I'm not sure it's really magic. How'd you learn to do that?
Well, when I was in college, broke my collarbone. Had to pass the time somehow.
Learn to steal?
That's it, yeah.
When Josh lifted my watch, I knew I'd found the guy to help lift the curse. He's a magician on the field as well.
Allen, quick hitter, somehow caught, and now lateral to Allen, and reaching for the pylon. Are you kidding me?
You're my son Marshall's favorite.
My son Marshall. Listen to Marshall, and then he's going to later say something about deputize.
Yeah.
And I think that might have more to do with the ice this weekend. But we'll see.
Player. You do your thing. I feel like you're playing out on a sand lot.
And now he's going to throw it in the end zone, and he's caught. Touchdown!
Just how we threw it out. Just how we threw it out. Going back to high school, I was a pocket passer because I had no athleticism. I was very slow. My coach called me Tortuga, which is tortoise in Spanish. And I think just how I played the game growing up, watching you and Aaron and Tom, like guys that I looked up to, I wanted to emulate you. I wanted to be Peyton Manning.
What can I say?
Josh Allen just threw a grain of rice through a keyhole.
The similarities are striking.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Super Josh. I'm doing a little curse busting as a side hustle, and the Bills Mafia deputized me to break the Buffalo curse.
Not that Buffalo curse, superstitious nonsense. I did see what you and Jeff Daniels did for the Detroit Lions.
You watched that?
I did.
Why the is there a bathtub in the end zone of Ford Field?
Number 22 on both jerseys when they did the last ritual cleanse with Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels starred in Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey, you know. So there's that kind of shit too that we don't need to get into. But if you really went to my other videos,
And we said Lions, Tigers, and Bears, Oz.
Lions for the Lions and Tigers and Bears with Oz. There's a lot to unpack here with what they're conveying. The golden helmet, the silver helmet. It's not the golden helmet. It's a silver helmet. If you look at that, but that they're cleansing. They're cleansing the curse from the silver helmet because it's the
gold.
It does it, but it's
the Lions.
Lions are silver.
It's silver, huh?
So anyway,
okay,
we don't need to watch that one. But this is another
the curse
video
of Buffalo started in 1901 with something that happened right here
in the middle of Fordham Drive.
Yes. Josh, back in 1901, this wasn't a boulevard. This was the centerpiece of the Pan American Exposition, the Temple of Music.
Sounds like a sad college band.
Where McKinley died.
In 1901, William McKinley, the 25th president of the United States, came to Buffalo for the Pan American Exposition, a showcase for the electric power generated by Niagara Falls.
Because of
the
Tesla.
Pan American Temple of Music, which covered this spot, President McKinley was fatally shot September 6th, 1901. So this is where it happened.
4:07 p.m. President McKinley's in the receiving line.
4:07 p.m. 47.
Shakes
right?
the left hand of the president. His right hand was banned.
Also, the 25th president.
5 by 5.
Yeah, 5 by
5
5
times 5 is 25. It's not lost on you.
Yeah.
Bandage comes in. Bam. Let me show you a picture here.
I'm gonna remember this next time my dad tells me a firm, good handshake leads to good things.
The city of Buffalo hasn't won a championship since. Do you think it's possible that the ghost of President McKinley is what's holding Buffalo back? Or, just a coincidence, wide right, no goal. Thurman's
Brett Hull, number 22.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On the stars.
I mean, I think it's got to be a coincidence.
The pentagram. They beat the Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup that year. It was in the 90s.
Okay.
But I'll go through any precautionary thing to try to lift this curse. What do you think, like a seance with this rock?
No. One of the things Jeff Daniels and I discovered is that when you submerge an object in water, it purges the evil spirits.
Bobby Lang's helmet in the bathtub of Cody Stark. I saw that.
Exactly. Now, what brought President McKinley here was water power. Buffalo was the first American city with electric lights, energy that was generated by
Niagara Falls. No
yes.
way, no way.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
First electric stadium.
We're a force of nature, Josh. We all know this. But we're going to use this force of nature to free Buffalo from William McKinley and all the ghosts of the past.
I'm sorry, Peyton. There's no way that I'm going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. My contract actually has a no daredevil stunt on Peyton's places clause.
Hit pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
There are all these quips in this, guys, where Josh Allen and Peyton are like joking about their contracts and how it was drafted up that way. And, the script of the NFL for the ritual of it is, I think it's known by certain players, and I'm pretty convinced it's not by others, because I have a direct line of communication with some friends of mine who are related, like within their blood family, with players that play now. And not all of them are, of course, at the quarterback position, but also not like maybe in a Masonic lodge somewhere where they're keen on what they're doing and why they're orchestrating this weird theatric piece on Peyton Manning's channel that have all these weird, allusions to the fact that the sport is scripted. What are they clearing the ritual for? So anyway, let's point that out.
On this point, like the red pill, the blue pill.
Yeah. Yep.
This looked pretty obvious there when they were rolling the barrel down.
Come on, man. I mean, you'll hurdle 300-pounders in a game, but you won't do this? It's less than a football field high.
So how is this supposed to help Buffalo anyway?
That's what Detroit said, and look at the Lions now.
Yeah, but they haven't won a Super Bowl yet.
But they're losing important games, okay? That's progress.
And the number 1 seed Detroit Lions are headed for a very, very long offseason.
Number 14 heading into the locker room. They chose to.
Did you see that Rocket Mortgage right above them? They were losing very important games, he said.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said Rocket Mortgage above them. And they were heading into a long off season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because right now, Trump was supposed to be going to Davos to talk about home affordability and all this.
Yes.
And instead, then they start talking about all this Greenland thing. And now he's turned it all around and created this board of peace. And Putin's calling him daddy and
yeah,
and going to pay him $1 billion and join the board of peace.
See, Detroit Lions are headed for a very
long
off season.
Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to place some Buffalo mementos in that barrel and in this curse forever.
Wouldn't it be easier, use a rabbit's foot?
Tobin Spirit Guide says a living source of water can carry a curse away. This is the most powerful living water in North America.
By the way, that bridge that you see there is called the Rainbow Bridge. I shit you not. It's called the Rainbow Bridge.
Okay. And we'll see a rainbow here in a minute. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, the bridges rituals also in my videos feature a very strong, prominent bridges theme.
I can feel it. You feel that?
Yeah. Was that a gust or a president's ghost? All I knew is we had a big barrel and 124 years of bad memories to wash away.
So what do we do now?
We're going to go with the old standby of water and buffalo seasoning.
Sauce, but okay.
I like how you're into this. Some hex-breaking herbs.
Of course.
And now, some mementos of buffalo suffering. Ronnie Harmon's receiving gloves. Scott Norwood's kicking shoe.
There it is. Wide right.
My bad. Wide right.
Wide right.
Found Thurman Thomas's helmet.
Okay.
The keys to OJ's Bronco.
Come on. That's
OJ
really
comes
necessary.
into
Well,
it
make
here
this question
too.
out, Alan.
Okay,
And the
what else?
Broncos.
Button from Jack Kemp's presidential campaign.
Like it?
Hit pause for a second. Like the Broncos weren't yet determined to play them in the Super Bowl or in their divisional round rather when this came out 2 months ago, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't determined to yet.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Wow.
But the OJ thing is
in the contract.
But the wide right and OJ guys, take those two artifacts, go back to that Taylor Swift video, see how this is all connected. It'll blow your fucking mind if you start like really going down the rabbit hole with this, like I have in the last several years of my life. But continue. We're almost
Buffalo
to
All-Americans uniform.
The rightful
pause there
1921.
too. These are just the old Buffalo uniforms. Notice how they put number 3 on there. DeMar Hamlin's part of the whole Buffalo curse story too. They only nod to it. DeMar Hamlin, guys, is the player that died on the field. Remember? 2022.
Oh my God.
He died on the field like from COVID. And then they replaced him with an actor. And everyone was like, the tattoos are all the wrong spot and all that shit, you know?
Yes. Yep.
So that's the DeMar Hamlin thing. They don't call it out on the nose because he actually fucking died on the field. Everyone's pretty convinced. I think this happened, right? So
because then didn't he show back up again later?
He did, but he wasn't the same dude. Like his tattoos were all wrong. His fucking facial structure wasn't quite right. They tried to show him in the luxury boxes for a couple weeks afterward as like a shadowy figure waving through the snow, and you couldn't really. They tried to pull the wool over. Oh, and then they took a photo on Instagram showing his back.
Okay,
with his like arms up. And,
okay, so they used his brother or somebody to try to say that he didn't.
Somebody, yeah. And they eventually put him back on the field. They found somebody that looked another double agent guy, I think, that still had some athleticism, and they put him back in. And he played like another couple of seasons too.
Lord.
NFL champions.
Exactly right. And a memorial letter from McKinley's funeral.
Hail to the chief. Not the Chiefs. This chief.
Not the Chiefs. Once again, nod to Native American. Not the Chiefs. This chief.
This chief.
Now, if you will, please read this incantation.
Okay, here we go. In the name of the thundering bison and the scorching wings, for Jim Kelly, for Marv Levy, for Wolf Blitzer, and for the guy who played Shooter McGavin, I call upon these noble waters in the spirit of William McKinley to grant Buffalo peace as Donkey Kong doth did before us. May we fling this barrel true. May these fresh waters crush this curse like a folding table in lot 2.
And then silence, like a folding table in lot 2. And everyone, the silence kicks on at exactly 8 minutes, 55 seconds. And they haven't fixed this clip. You notice how there's no sound. We have one of the themes, McKinley dies in the Temple of Music. There's an absence of music. There's a death of music in this phase of the video. The barrel reference, by the way, is what the Donkey Kong was all about, Lisa. I saw your face.
Okay. I was like,
so they have this silent sequence here where in the comments, everyone's pretty convinced, oh, well, they must have got a copyright strike because they were playing music over this portion and it's edited out. But there's a rainbow right there. You got the Rainbow Bridge, and then you got the actual rainbow.
957.
Color World and Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Color World in the Road to Ruta comics. Oz in the enlightening of, what was once black and white is now color. And then at 10 minutes and 8 seconds.
I think I feel something.
I think so
exactly
too. But
1 minute and 13 seconds worth of clip of silence. 1 minute and 13 seconds are 113.
113.
So from 8:55 to 10:08, span of 1 minute and 13 seconds.
And he says, do you think it works? It worked.
Do you think it worked? Silence.
I'm thinking it's just a mist.
Or is it the echo of a new day cleansed of all burdens?
Probably just a mist.
You think?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's a new day.
What's a mist?
Yeah, like a mesh.
Like a mesh.
Today, I was kidnapped by the mob. Here, play away.
That almost sound like the Kamala thing, like the thoughts of tomorrow are unburdened by what has come before, like whatever the fuck she said.
Yeah.
But there's that number 91 jersey again.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're back at the Buffalo tailgate.
Are these cursed too?
Not going in, they're not.
I learned the reigning MVP isn't just great in the pocket.
That was a laser beam from Josh Allen.
He picks them.
That's right. Magic time.
Wow.
And the President McKinley's ghost is no match for Tobin's spirit guide and a national landmark.
It also brings in the national park, which, Vix has talked about the canyon forever, and we talked about how
Josh has been a barrel of
a
laughs.
lot of the
Here's hoping we live to the curse.
resources are
Either
hidden.
way,
in
you're the quarterback that can bring the city of Buffalo its first world championship since 1901. Thanks a
I
lot.
appreciate you, Peyton. But there is one thing that Buffalo's always been the best at.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Our fans. No one else has their own mafia.
I'm telling you, I was with them today. They're special. Let's get a selfie here. Hold on.
Peyton,
I think I lost my
Peyton.
phone.
You're what we call an easy mark in the business.
Kidding me? You got my phone too?
Here we go.
Makes me want to shout on three. 1, 2, 3, shout! I've been kidnapped, had my pocket picked. I mean, Buffalo really is a mild town.
And they did not visit the Tesla statue that's in that same park that there's a Tesla statue in that park for having created the hydroelectric dam. So there's a lot going on there, guys. You can see there's some steganography at play, even just with the Buffalo Bronco, the OJ Bronco, but the Bills played the Broncos the next week. And what we didn't see until they actually lost was something that actually the rest of the internet picked up on pretty keenly too, at least in the conspiracy corners of Twitter and stuff. But Buffalo Bill was a character. He was from the Old West.
Oh, Jim brings up a good point. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Wolf Blitzer, remember the Wolf? We were on the Wolf stay.
We were on Wolverine,
Wolverine. So
Wolverine will come back into this too.
Wolf Blitzer.
Not today, but Wolverine is a Canadian character too.
But that's part of our, part of
it's
the
right on the
story.
Right on the border of the Rainbow Bridge connects Canada and Buffalo. One of the things that's in that Taylor Swift video that I was showing people, one of these rituals in the lead up to that year's Super Bowl 48 was that there was a Tesla that was used as a projectile, it looked like, from the security footage, that was launched into the toll booth, like off of a ramp, like off of a berm, off of a, kind of off of a grassy knoll berm, straight. It's just went airborne, like a guided missile, and landed and hit the toll booth and just exploded and erupted into this big fire concoction, right? And so there was a Tesla that was used as a projectile to set ablaze the Rainbow Bridge. And it was happening at the same time as the bridge in Maryland was collapsing. And I've talked to you about the bridges aspect of that, the Earth Grid Control Network, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this weird, Wolverine connection to all of this. Wolverine is a character that was central in the comic realm alongside the Intrepid Museum time rituals we were looking at in the summer. That was a key marker. So anyway, this year's Super Bowl, though, whoever plays in it, I still think it looks like the Seahawks are going to make it there because of the Oz connection. But now you've got the Bills the Broncos and the Patriots as the two potentials for the AFC. But before we get there, when you look at the Bills game and you look at the steganography that occurred, not to mention the OJ Bronco connection, which is funny, but you had the Bills trailing by 3 with 55 seconds left. The score was 30-27 at the end of the game. It all boiled down to that. And 55 seconds remaining on the clock. They drove it down. They kicked a 3-point field goal to tie it at 30-30 to go to overtime. There's your 33. The Broncos ended up intercepting it in overtime and then taking it down and scoring a field goal for themselves to win 33-30. Buffalo Bill, when you look at the game, you're like, oh, I was kind of scratching my head, but only for like 2 seconds until after the game. I was texting you. In fact, I remember I was like, oh shit, now I see why they didn't win. Buffalo Bill actually died in Colorado. The character Buffalo Bill in 1917. Josh, so he died in Colorado in 17. Josh Allen's number is number 17 along with Q. So Buffalo Bill died in Golden, Colorado.
Yeah.
In 1917, Golden, Colorado. Golden, Colorado, if it weren't enough for the Trump connection with all the McKinley stuff also, is the place where Coors Brewing Company exists, and they famously make a beer that's colloquially referred to as the Silver Bullet. Coors Light, the Silver Bullet.
Bix Weir's favorite beer.
Bix Weir's favorite beer for I wonder why. But the Silver Bullet and the Silver Bullet train, I think this is where you start being able to look at the Super Bowl commercials ahead of time too. And like, I wonder if we're going to see the Silver Bullet train make an appearance in the commercials this year, you know. But you had a lot of this stuff happen alongside, you know, like we mentioned last time, every time the Seahawks have also gone to a Super Bowl, there's been a changeover in the Pope Leo for the age of Leo. We're going into the age of Leo, not Aquarius, is what I would argue. It's, again, go watch my steganography videos that I pointed to earlier. But he was born on September 14th, 9/14/1955. Pope Leo, 55. So he's born on 9/14 in 55 for the V-Steg components. If that weren't enough for you. In the NFC Championship game, you have Matthew Stafford, number 9, versus Sam Darnold, number 14, for 9/14/55. The Seahawks probably still will be going to the Super Bowl with all this Pope stuff in it, it looks like. But, you know, there was also this whole thing with Maduro. Did you see this alongside the same? So Maduro was being captured the same weekend that the Bills beat the Jaguars, where number 14 and number 41 pulled Josh Allen into the end zone to win it. But pull up that article I just sent you.
Is it the one when we were texting?
Yeah, I think we texted this, but I put it in the thread here on our chat, just in the side, just to make it easy.
Okay, let me find it. Okay. Oh yeah, it's the same. But I have to share that page instead.
And again, guys, remember Seattle won 41-6. They won with a sum total of 41 points.
Awesome.
And then if your Emerald City ties and time rituals aren't enough, this article comes out about a week after Maduro is been arrested and taken into custody. Right as the Bills are losing to the Broncos, this piece comes out. What this piece is it's like this weird fluff piece talking about all the watches that Nicolas Maduro has collected and his prized emerald ring. And what are they going to do with them? Like that's the emphasis of the article. Like they have these things. What are they going to do with them? Who the fuck cares? It's very clearly
and look at the 45 right here.
What's that?
Look at the 45 right here.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. So it's weird. There's all these weird Oz accompanying kayfabe-esque news stories that are coming alongside the guided ritual sports that we're watching. But yeah, here it is. They conducted the strike. Everybody now knows, you know, they even used UFO tech, you know, some sort of sound tech to cause the wigging out of the soldiers to not even attack the onslaught. But yeah, they're circling all these watches like, oh, the generals, they're all wearing Maduro's watches. Now look, they've been cut. It's like a propaganda piece that a paparazzi agent for US Weekly magazine would put together, you know. How did he acquire these watches?
Oh, look at this Tiffany colored one.
And then he's got the Tiffany colored watch. But at some point here, it'll talk about his ring. There it is. There's his emerald ring, which it becomes the main point of the article.
It's a 4.76 carat.
So what does Venezuela have to do with the road to Ruta? I don't even hear Bix talking about this. Remember in the road to Ruta?
Allegedly, Venezuela has some of the most pure, and Bix and Jenny talked about this on Private Road.
I still have to catch the last one. I'm one video
behind.
So
she drew cards, and not to talk, out of school or whatever. I'm sure they wouldn't mind me sharing this. I wouldn't think.
Right.
But,
yeah. Especially just to reference it like this.
Yeah. But she talked about pulling cards, and Bix was like, well, asking questions and whatever. And it was like, well, wait a minute. Why did this happen in Venezuela at this time? Well, remember that Maduro met with China that day. And remember when Trump said he tried to close the metal door, but we got to him just in time. Well, allegedly in Venezuela, it has some of the most pure silver, which is needed for things like military, specifically.
Yeah, that's why China was buying. We talked about this. That's why they were buying all the sludge and trace silver that they could get out of the byproducts. Okay,
so allegedly they got in there and so what Jenny was pulling was that they had to go, because the banks were running out of silver, like the failure to deliver thing, the unobtainium thing is happening. And so they had to go get the silver because we really were having the failure to deliver. And that's why I was reading something, and I don't remember the source, so I can't really say that it was 100% accurate, but somebody, something on Twitter today was saying that the suppliers have outspent their lines of credit. And so they weren't able to get more silver or whatever, the physical. And that's why they're not buying more, but they also can't, that's why they can't deliver as well, because they can't get more. So Jenny was, I don't want to conflate the two stories or two sources. What Jenny's cards were saying is that it's it had to happen right now because there was the failure to deliver kind of thing had happened. And so we needed the silver mostly for military, because they had that very pure silver in Venezuela, and we needed the physical. It was that's kind of what her cards were showing.
Well, do you remember in the road to Ruta when the flower sheds the 3 black tears?
Yes.
Or not the road to Ruta, Wishes and Rainbows, the comic.
Wishes and Rainbows.
Ruta, the theory of Bix Weir, the Wishes and Rainbow comic, which he derives the theory from.
Which I thought that was oil. I always thought that was oil.
It is, I think. And that's what I'm pointing to with Venezuela as the 3 black tears. Or one of the 3 black tears. So I was thinking about the other day, is this one of the 3 black tears that is going to drop? Are there going to be 3 events relating to oil that are going to trigger? And is Venezuela just the first one? I just had the thought. I don't know. But it might make sense if they're following that level of script of their own division, of their own, device rather, for making the road the Wishes and Rainbows comics at the Fed in the first place, at the Fed Boston.
Yeah,
there's some sort of a playbook there within it. It would be Bix's argument, right? So if we're assuming that, could it be that that's how you interpret those 3 drops of oil from the flower, those 3 hard tears? And Venezuela, what's next? Is Greenland number 2?
And this one's copper. The other, I'm sorry,
emerald and copper. Yeah,
emerald. This one's copper and has a 45.
And they're all green. He features all of them that they seem to have green, and then there's the dragon with the green orb and
turquoise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's a weird thing to show.
It is weird.
And it's just a weird thing to do a piece about, like Nicolas Maduro's watches.
Yeah.
And his emerald ring.
Mm-hmm. Emerald specifically, that is very strange. Yeah.
So anyway, kind of not to leave other news items outside of the sports realm and how sports is controlling your mind out of it, but today is also a significant anniversary of another event.
Happy anniversary to the Trumps.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
But it would be 42 years ago today, that the Apple commercial first aired, where the woman with the mallet swings the sledgehammer into the Big Brother speaking head on the television. You can pull it up. It's just an ad.
Yeah.
But this is a very iconic Apple ad, and it's 1984. Remember, the whole subtext of the commercial was that the mind control, 1984 wouldn't seem so much like 1984, because the connotation was George Orwell's novel, 1984. So they were trying to break that connotation that technology would be used for.
And this was a Super Bowl ad as well.
It was a Super Bowl ad. That's why it's a connective point here. The NPCs.
And the mask, the hammer.
Yep.
We are one people, one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh, and you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
There you go. The very next year, Alan Greenspan did the famous commercial with Apple too. That's all part of the tapestry of Satoshi Nakamoto and Steve Jobs and Alan Greenspan. I have plenty of content on my channel about that too, that ties in with Ozzy and the mind control of it all, of these famous characters over time, and the silver rig. Believe it or not, there's a cross overlap of this other character that is now lesser well known in history, called Elizabeth Holmes. And why this commercial with Apple that ran in the Super Bowl is connected at all to this whole thing, you might want to ask yourself. Elizabeth Holmes all of a sudden is in the news today. Again, today's January 22nd. I already established 22nd being you can look at that any month of the year, really. When things happen on the 22nd, you can always kind of oddly have that bend to it. But really specifically when they align like this, Elizabeth Holmes is now formally requesting of Trump, as of today, that she get a sentence reduction of time commuted, which means that she can just have him write off the rest of her sentence and she can get out of prison. Right? It's kind of like a pardon. Commuting her sentence. She was convicted of fraud. Funny that this is the hilarious thing about the media. Like, an entire state in Minnesota can be convicted of fraud to the citizens. And, when one pain in the ass woman gets shot in the face because she's trying to ram a police officer with an SUV, they all lose their shit. But we have to prosecute an individual like Elizabeth Holmes, who defrauded all these investors apparently in her blood technology company a few years ago. So Elizabeth Holmes, everybody, if you're uninitiated with her story, she's kind of affectionately the blood lady. She operated a company called Theranos, which had some very suspicious backing from military individuals, like a lot of the generals that were in in positions during the first Trump administration, like Bolton, even Bolton was involved, and you had Mattis as a key investor in this. You had George
They were the
Soros.
Washington generals.
Right.
They weren't that's not the Raising Cane general.
No.
Purple.
But oddly, alongside people like George Soros and these varieties of people, they were the ones that were invested in Theranos. Mm-hmm. So they were the ones that were defrauded mainly with this whole weird scheme of trying to put Elizabeth Holmes, it seems, as a scapegoat for the collapse of the Theranos public-facing organization. Theranos, as a company, purported they were going to make technology that they would be able to take one single drop of blood and put it into their little apparatus, and they would be able to diagnose any ailment that your body had. Didn't matter what the ailment was, they'd be able to pinpoint it just with that one drop of blood. I argue you could probably find a lot of other things within a drop of blood if you had the time and the technology and the know-how, the spectrometry kind of like scientific engineering analysis that you could put to light waves and frequencies, and you could find all sorts of shit out with blood. Blood's crazy. They claimed that the money that got spent in the investment process, the claimants on, the plaintiffs in the case to sue Elizabeth Holmes, the investor groups, were defrauded by way of the technology never having a proof of concept that worked and all this shit. There's a lot of suspicion around this because President Obama himself took Congress members through Theranos. It was the main operating years of Theranos was during the Obama administration. So you basically go back to 2009, 2010, 2011 onward, all the way to like 2018, 2019. The company was supposed to be showcasing these boxes. They were going to be installed in Walgreens. It was this big revolution. Well, something happened where the technology never got delivered, very suspiciously. And there are stories that have come out. There was a podcast that got done called The Dropout. ABC did the podcast. They sponsored the podcast. The podcast, Lisa, came out, oddly enough, the podcast original release date for Dropout was, I believe, also January 22nd. Just a sec. First episode of Dropout, January 22nd, 35 years later here, 2019. So January 22nd, 2019, 7 years ago from today, this series Dropout tries to, because Elizabeth Holmes is at this point in court and they're trying to paint this public persona of her. She's like a de facto, evil bitch. But there's all this weird shit that if you listen to the whole series of the podcast, I listened to it. It's so much propaganda. It almost makes your head spin. But as they always do, they're always like these key moments where you're like, interesting. And when you actually listen to this, you figure out like the stock of where Elizabeth Holmes came from. First of all, there's a little known fact about a family named the Fleischmans that came here after World War II. Fleischman's a Jewish name. But the Fleischmans are Elizabeth Holmes' progeny. Like, she's the progeny of the Fleischmans. And the Fleischmans, I'm getting up my notes from when I was looking at all that.
What movie are the Fleischmans? What movie is that?
Joel Fleischman is a character in Northern Exposure. People probably recognize that from like the CBS show about the doctor that went to Alaska.
Very familiar.
Okay, so Elizabeth Holmes was also born in 1984. That's what just gets crazy. The whole ritual of this. So she's born in 1984, the year this commercial comes out. The 22nd of January is 35 in 2019 is 35 years after that Apple commercial comes out. The whole reason why Elizabeth Holmes is connected to Apple at all is because she emulated Steve Jobs, for God's sakes, with whatever public persona she took on, with the black turtleneck and the deep voice. And that deep voice, you learn, was an act. It was an act. She didn't sound like that in college. Growing up, she doesn't sound like that in prison. There was something going on, almost like some MK Ultra external force. I start to argue when you start to really look into this character of Elizabeth Holmes, and her dad being part of this Fleischmann empire they were the Fleischmann yeast. It's a company.
Oh yeah.
Fleischmann yeast is like it's still to this day like your staple yeast product at the grocery store. That's them. That's the Fleischmann empire. So without going too deeply in that direction, there's also a cold fusion scientist whose name is Martin Fleischmann, who seems to be connected with the family in that way.
Okay.
And there's all of this voice augmentation mystery behind Elizabeth Holmes to see like, was she a puppet? Like this shit goes deep. Like I can go for days on the Theranos propaganda conspiracy. What I think happened with Theranos is the technology got perfected. The investment didn't go nowhere, but just like so many other dark projects, like UFOs and shit, they developed that technology for assaying blood, just like I said, but probably for other means of doing things with blood as well. If you just think about even circa 2018, 2019, all the craziness with 23andMe and Ancestry.com. And like there's some crazy shit that we are still even uncovering to this day of like the magnetic qualities of what blood conveys and what the current and the electric charge that goes alongside blood and or that comes along in the solution of blood, I should say. And
in old medical journals and stuff, they talk about because a lot of medical places are religious, Mercy Hospital or Catholic whatever, Baptist hospital, whatever, and the nurses would be nuns or whatever, and they would pray to stop blood flow during surgery. Like this is not woo woo. This is not like whatever. Like that's in medical journals. That would be the method of stopping blood flow for surgery. Would be prayer.
Interesting. So there's like some response to consciousness in that way.
Which is like frequency, and like you said, circulation, current. I mean, all of that.
It's really, really fucking weird, oh, I fucking forgot about this, but it's all of that stuff, the mind control stuff that they prove, cybernetics. I agree. There's an effect of the Jedi mind that things can have on that, especially probably things that are responsive like blood. But I mean, I'll just leave this. We can talk about Elizabeth Holmes later, but in discussing this, her father, Christian Holmes. He worked at his record on LinkedIn. I was looking into him at various government agencies, but then you find out he had one of the largest stakes in Enron of any of the investors in Enron too. We don't have a track record of financial malfeasance with companies that were doing things off books there either, do we?
Right.
We all know Enron also kind of divested their project technology and sent it elsewhere into government. So we have a track record of behavior is all I'm saying. And it's interesting, again, that why does Elizabeth Holmes come into the news only on January 22nd every year?
On the 22nd, yeah.
It's always the fucking January 22nd.
I did want to share this Q post, which is
she's 41 years old right now too, by the way.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, that was one of the other things.
That was the other commonality is Oz. So that means today happens to be, if you count from 84 or this year, this whole year is Oz from if 1984 is the birth year, then
1984 was 42.
He was born in 84.
Years. Yeah.
So this would be like the Oz year if you said from 1984. So that's kind of a thing. So this is
she was born 12 days after the commercial aired. on February 1st. Or wait, hold on.
I'm just saying this whole year for us, just in comparison of that.
February 3rd, excuse me, February 3rd, 1984. It's Elizabeth Holmes.
Wild.
Space boggles the mind.
Yeah.
All the secrets encoded with steganography at the heart of the sigil being, the mind control seal that prevents you from looking any further. I don't know if that's really all that there is to it. Obviously, the subliminal effect of it has been powerful, it seems, over time, because we're manifesting for them, though, guys. That's the point. That's really all it boils down to is the why you want to pay attention to this shit, because if you're not, then you're just manifesting what they want you to with your thoughts. Like, that's what your focuses are. That's what your predilections are. That's what your desires become. And you want to create your own desires. If the VSTEG is present in the media that you're consuming, I do it because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess, because I'm trying to teach, and teach everybody that this is actually an effect that seems to be occurring, and it's my little way of helping to contribute to the war effort. But watching popular media and rotting your mind with betting on sports and playing way too many video games, it's not good. It's not good. There's so much better.
It's not good.
So many better
Definitely
ways
go watch V-Cipher Community on Rumble instead. And I did want to nod as well to tomorrow's Delta on Q Alerts, and that is the what storm, Mr. President? You'll see.
Frozen Empire. The Bills also kind of belong to that Frozen Empire tundra. Like, their new stadium is going to be right there in the frozen north. $2.2 billion stadium. There's your 22 again. It's
of course, we're all looking towards this big storm coming.
Oh, I forgot to tell you too. You know how they were calling it the tush push, where Josh Allen, where Josh Allen got pushed in the end zone against the Jaguars. Peyton Manning did a video with Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce's brother. Taylor Swift is married to, called the Tush Push. So that's another video on the Omaha Productions channel by Peyton Manning. Also done right back to back with the Josh Allen video. So they did the Josh Allen video that we just watched today with the VSTEG in it. They did the Tush Push video then. Josh Allen wins the game in the playoffs with a Tush Push.
Why do they talk like that?
What do you think about that?
I think they're outing that they all have strange habits or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're strange habits. Yep. They're tush pushers.
They're probably, and saying the parts out loud and having to admit it.
I'm just saying, this stuff, it's hilarious.
What was that basketball guy that wore the pink skirt in public? And they have to do. Yeah, no, not Dennis Rodman. He's another shoe guy. He had to go right when the Barbie movie came out. He had to go. He walked around.
LeBron James.
Yeah. I think that was part of his shaming ceremony.
LeBron James is Thurman Thomas's son, in all likelihood. Or not Thurman Thomas, Walter Thurman. Thurman Thomas is the place for the Bills, too. I'm getting all my Thurmans mixed up. Walter Thurmond was a number 42. Number 42. Masonic number for racism.
Oh.
For being racist against,
Okay.
We're not going to get into all of the gematria meetings. We've gotten into plenty of them today. But guys, it's ritualized, okay? Like the VSTEG shows. Sorry, I'm not like your great crystal ball with all my analysis pointed to it in advance, so you guys can go bet on your sports. There are people out there that do that, but don't bet on sports. Bet on silver instead.
Sports. Yes, that's right. Bet on silver instead.
It broke $88 on 113. What is that going to tell you?
Oh, and we were going to say that's the day that Great Scott passed away.
Great Scott, Adam Scott.
Scott Adams. Yeah.
Or Scott Adams. What am I saying?
The irony that, and Trump did or the White House or Trump posted like a cartoon with Trump and Scott Adams in a Dilbert cartoon together, to honor him.
Yeah.
And on the day that silver hit 88, just kind of, and the famous "Great Scott" line from Back to the Future.
From Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So
it's never a coincidence.
No, no, it isn't. Not in the kayfabe realm. Yeah. Not when there's kayfabe to be had to ritualize the minds of the masses into manifesting what the sorcerers want them to.
Oh, so I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot to ask you before we got started, but just to wrap up, this John AG guy, the AI silver guy.
Oh,
you don't know what I'm talking about.
Silver guy, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that it's part? You know how he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Do you think it's
somebody's got to have a connection that makes all his accounts? Because I think we talked about this last time. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of different YouTube channels that AI poster makes videos for, and sometimes they'll have inexplicably 53 views, and it's the top recommendation in my feed. Yeah. How does a fucking video, no matter what it is, even if it's the perfect video, 53 views and it's the top recommendation, somebody is pushing this. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, they're messing with pushing up in the algorithm. Who owns the algorithm? It's Mark Collins Rector. So my mind just goes there. Who's that faction? For what reason is that message being pushed? Then you also have to wonder. I've also speculated on this with the NFL itself. The NFL is kind of like a tool or an individual chip on a board for a war. Okay, well, if one faction controls the NFL in service of them, then they can use its apparatus, its mind control ability for their purposes, which may be good. We don't know.
Right, because I feel like it could be a tool for good because it's mostly talking about positive things about silver. And so getting this many people.
Super Bowl 55 in particular. Super Bowl 55 in particular showed a lot of that. We also saw at Super Bowl 54 with the silver rig ritual halftime show. I've showed you that one where it's just blatant Road to Ruta symbolism with the guy in the black sweatshirt and the rainbow on the sweatshirt coming out to rap alongside Shakira, who is in gold, and Jennifer Lopez in silver. And silver was objectified, obviously, because it was doing the strip tease and it was up there, and gold
being
was
manipulated.
The steady beat of the drum. It was the steady beat of the drum in the background, the bass line. There's a lot to pick apart with that. It's of course the floor fell apart. The Tesla coil came up out of the Emerald Niagara Falls. So this all connects back to all of these themes that we're talking about. There's some key cities that have been involved all along the way: Buffalo, New York, Minnesota, because of the
fraud.
Kensington Runestone, and the fraud is there. But the Kensington Runestone is the why. Pennsylvania, because it's the Keystone State. That's, of course, Butler, Pennsylvania, was where the assassination attempt happened, where the Buffalo firefighter was killed. Oh, if we only had the Buffalo firefighter to put out the fire on the Rainbow Bridge in Buffalo that the Tesla, all this shit is so circular with the ritual, how it all connects. But it nonetheless is part of what I hope everyone sees as reasons to not get too invested in these narratives, because look how engineered they are. It's engineered beyond your comprehension.
Yeah.
True.
Well, and we saw the WEF put out a statement that COVID was a test. They literally, I'll share it tomorrow on Happy Hour, but they literally said COVID was a test to see how many people would comply. They put it in your face, people. So we'll share that and a lot more tomorrow on Happy Hour. But thank you so much, Ben. This is always so much fun. I love these. I love.
Me too. Are you going to do a Twitter Spaces tomorrow? Or are you just doing Happy Hour?
I will probably get on Twitter Spaces for a little while, but
do they do them weekly still?
Westwood's been doing them, but then he doesn't. He's maybe on at the beginning, but then mostly.
I see.
It's, I don't know. Not a lot of people. I don't know. I jumped on last week, and there were some really wonderful people on pretty late, but I kind of popped in late, and so I was trying to.
I see.
Kind of catch up. It just depends, like if I have Canon and if he's feeling okay, all those kind of things. So I'm not always consistent with that, but I try to pop in there because there's some really great people in there. So if you're not following Clint Westwood, follow Clint Westwood on X or Twitter, and he does those after our show on Happy Hour on Fridays. So but we will see you guys tomorrow right here on Happy Hour. So take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.